And the first person that I have the honor of introducing to you and then inviting to come and speak to you is Mr. Arun Joshi. A graduate of the Law College in Mumbai and started working in 1954, which even to someone like me seems way back in history. And I'm going to let you know my age, it doesn't matter. I was born 8 years after he started working, so that in itself tells you why I hold him in such high reverence. He's an advisor, executive coach, and an experienced human resource and organizational development professional, and currently offers executive coaching to senior management across several industries. But he played a very interesting catalytic role in that very first program that High Places had. May I request you, sir, to please come and share your thoughts with us.
To begin with, a very heartfelt congratulations to Vasant. 25 successful pioneering years of growth in India. Not only that, but growth of what is popularly known as outbound experience, and growth of what is popularly known or what is not so known as a way of training people to do exciting things. And that is really something that he has brought to the country a long time ago. I was a great admirer of the Duke of Edinburgh scheme. Some of you may have heard of it. It was a scheme for development of leadership in schools and early college. Along came somebody who said, you know, there is a person in Pune who has just come back from Scotland, and he has trained at the very same institutes that teach people to be outbound trainers. And Murray College of Edinburgh is what he was from, and that's how I met Vasant. And when he talked about a program in Malshage, we promptly sent 2 or 3 people, but it was one of the very early programs, and they came back enthused. And I was quite excited that we had done something new in this whole world of training and development. So therefore, we decided that we would have our own, and we invited him to run a program for our new management trainee batch. I think it was 93, if I'm not mistaken. And the first thing he did was he one day called them to the office and told them to empty their pockets of all the money that they had. And having emptied their pockets, then he gave them a map of Bombay to Pune by road and a map to Simagad. And he says, you're now required to go with your belongings to this place by tonight if you want to eat anything. In their pocket, we gave them 54 rupees. I've not yet found out why 54, but it was a peculiar figure. 54 rupees, now you make your way. And frankly, I was terrified. None of them were from Maharashtra. They'd never heard of Simagad. The first time they were coming into something so crazy as this. But I reached, and I found all these chaps having arrived there, some late in the night at 11 o'clock and so, and they were quite cheerful. We followed this up with a debriefing, and that was an interesting event, both for me and for Vasant, because they did their debriefing in terms of experience and what did you gain and whatever, etc. But we followed this up with our own little debriefing, and we were all trained in ISABS, ISISD, whatever. And we did a lot of interpersonal revelations which came from their discussion. The debriefing lasted for almost a whole day. And having done that, it turned out to be the most powerful program that we had ever conducted in RPG or for that matter anywhere else. And I was excited as hell. After that, RPG used High Places very regularly, and we followed it up with a number of activities. The program has still got memories for people, including the people that worked with me. Lime is one of them. One of the trainees who has now reached very high places himself was supposed to be here, but couldn't make it. He's a very senior person in ICICI. Recently, I was in Thailand. I was running a program for Pepsi. And when we went there, this whole outbound thing was being run by Australians. And so I got to talking to them, and they said, we were trying to come to India, but we found that India is far in advance of the kind of training that we do. And one of the people that they talked of was High Places. And I was extremely proud that I had been part of that whole exercise, started almost 20, 30, 40, 25 years ago. All the best, Vasant. look forward to seeing you at the 50th, and take care.
I'm sure everyone in this room has stories to tell about experiences. And the batch that was referred to earlier on by Prem was, if I recall correctly, in '98. That was a batch of management trainees which we'd hired just at the time that Coca-Cola was embarking on this journey of sort of setting up and acquiring all the bottlers that Mr. Chauhan had built, and we'd acquired Thumbs Up and so on and so forth. And suffice it to say that there is currently a proposal sitting with the Harvard Business School to evaluate how that group of 18 young lads and girls that we had have performed, because it is my hypothesis that they have actually outstripped their peers by no less than a minimum of 3 to 4 career moves and positions in terms of hierarchies. But I think that initial start, just as Mr. Joshi mentioned, does make a huge impact in terms of how people evolve and develop. So I think many of us owe thanks to Vasant, both for ourselves and for the organization.